English, Standard 12, Unit 4, poem Ulysses, written by Alfred Tennyson. This poem of Alfred Tennyson is one of the popular dramatic monologues in English literature. Alfred Tennyson, first Baron Tennyson, was a British poet. He was the poet laureate of Great Britain and Ireland during much of Queen Victoria's reign and remains one of the most popular British poets. He excelled at penning short lyrics. His verses on classical mythology, Ulysses, is noteworthy. His use of the musical qualities of words to emphasize his rhythms and meanings is sensitive. Ulysses refers to the title of the poem as well as the name of the hero who acquired skills and experiences in the war of Troy. The great Greek hero returns to his kingdom, Ithaca, after 20 long years. During these 20 years, after winning the historical war of Troy for his chieftain Achilles, he has to go to different countries blown by the magic winds. He gains a vast knowledge. This experience causes in him a deep thirst of traveling till his death. The central theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventure, experience, and meaning which makes life worth living. The central theme of Ulysses is that there is a search for adventure, experience, and meaning which makes life worth living. Tennyson used Ulysses as the old adventurer and who is unwilling to accept the setting of old, longing for one more quest. Tennyson also wrote this poem in memory of his friend Arthur Hallam. The poem Ulysses is a dramatic monologue that contains 70 lines of blank verse. The poem can be divided into 3 parts. First, Ulysses' thirst for adventure. The unquenchable thirst for adventure, which does not allow Ulysses to remain in his kingdom. The second one is Ulysses handing over the responsibility to his son Telemachus with total confidence in his abilities. And the third is his clarion call to his sailors, urging them to venture into unknown lands. This poem is divided into 3 parts. First, the unquenchable thirst for adventure, which does not allow Ulysses to remain in his kingdom as a mere ruler. The second part is Ulysses handing over the responsibility to his son Telemachus with total confidence in his abilities. And the third is his clarion call to his sailors, urging them to venture into unknown lands. Ulysses says to himself, "It little profits that an idle king by this still hearth among these barren cracks, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole unequal loss unto a savage race. You know, idle king, idle, lazy. Idle means lazy. He doesn't want to remain an idle king. And you know, that is, he says about barren cracks. The island Ithaca is full of rocks, a mountainous area. So barren, empty, cracks, rocks, barren cracks. Empty rocks. And he became old. His wife also was aged. And he doesn't like to remain in his kingdom, Ithaca, with the people, those who were uncivilized. That is why he says that, matched with an aged wife, I meet and dole, unequal loss unto a savage race. Savage race means uncivilized people. Savage race, uncivilized people. So he doesn't want to remain idle in his kingdom, and he wanted to go back. He wanted to set many voyages till his death. That's what he explained in the first stanza. The hoard and sleep and feed, and know not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will bring life to the lees. I will bring life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those. He beautifully says that he didn't want to simply remaining idle, eating, drinking and sleeping alone, spending the time. And he did not want to remain idle. He could not remain without traveling. He said that I will drink life to the lees. I'll drink life to the lees means drink to the very last drop. Here he meant live life to the fullest. He wanted to live his life to the fullest with adventures and voyages till his death. And he said that, of course, in his long 20 years of experiences, he had happy moments, at the same time sad events too. He had met more adventures and he had experienced different things, both happiness and sorrows, in all these 20 years. That loved me, and alone on shore, and when through scudding trips the rainy hides vexed the dim sea, I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. See, that loved me, and alone on shore and when. So he had been in the voyage. He was on the seas and oceans, and sometimes alone in the shore. And scudding means moving rapidly because of the strong winds. His vessel, the ship, would have moved rapidly because of the strong wind. And rainy hide us a group of stars, in the constellation. You know, That is just a symbol of which will be just a symbol of rain. Taurus, often just associated with rain. So Taurus, Kairos means Taurus. A group of stars in the constellation. Kairos. Group of stars in the constellation. In the constellation, which is associated with rain. Taurus, which is associated with rain. So that's what we can remember. Group of stars in the constellation. So he wanted to have a name. He wanted to gain name and fame by his sea voyages and adventures. Let us continue the rest of the poem in the next class.